Yeah, so hi everyone, this is Sarun and I'm the IICS trainer. So this is a demo session and we'll be discussing about cloud data integration training and we will be discussing about even cloud application integration. So let me bring up my slide deck just a minute and share my screen. Okay, yeah. So the agenda is to discuss about IACS. So how many of you are from Informatica background here? Anyone of you are from Informatica background, Power Center background? Okay, no problem. So IACS stands for Informatica Intelligent Cloud Services, and we have two different components like cloud data integration and cloud application integration. So cloud data integration is something where you connect your on-premise data, and you do a lot of integration with your external sources, and you load your data into targets. We connect to multiple systems, and we have the connectivity uh, across a hybrid model where you connect to on-prem and you also connect to cloud. And cloud application integration is something where you process data real time. Okay, you process data real time because you would send a request, you get a response. So this is a basic difference between your data integration and your cloud application integration. Okay, so ISA stands for Informatica Cloud Services or Informatica Intelligent Cloud Services. Now it is part of a bundle of integrated platform, which is IDMC, Integrated Data Management Cloud, which is a unified service offered by Informatica. Okay, where you have data integration, data quality, application integration, and you have cloud data governance and lot. Okay, okay. You can see my screen, right? So the agenda for today's demo session, we will discuss about IACS, Informatica Intelligent Cloud Services, which are like, cloud data integration and cloud application integration. What would be the different components? What is iPaaS solution? Features of iPaaS? And I'll walk you through the architecture, how the architecture would look, and how do we get started, and including your runtime environment and secure agent. Okay. So what is Informatica Cloud to begin with? Informatica Cloud is an on-demand subscription that you provide a complete platform for data integration and data management, including real time, where you get a capability to integrate your sources on premise and even cloud. You can even go for a hybrid model. So you can create different connections, you can create users, run your jobs, schedule them and monitor them. So we have different components here like runtime environments, secure agent, organization, and connections. So we'll see all this in detail, but the first thing what we have to understand is what is an iPaaS solution. Okay. So iPaaS stands for Integration Platform as a Service. So when I say integration platform, what actually this platform is doing, this is you're accessing it from any machine with an internet access. Okay, you just need internet access. You access an application, your browser is going to connect to your cloud services through a secure HTTP protocol. So you have a suite of products, or you have a suite of cloud services which will help you to do development, execution, and governance. You can actually do your jobs. You have some templates where you create some jobs. You connect to multiple sources, you connect to multiple targets. You have a combination of on-premise and cloud. You can connect to different services, different applications across multiple organizations. Okay, and there is an enterprise orchestration. When I say orchestration, is something where you have an ability to bring in your data into one hub, right? So you can access it from any machine. That is your iPaaS service. So when you actually connect to an application, your browser is connecting to the services using a secure HTTP protocol. And we also have a multiple toggle switch wizards, where you want to toggle around multiple services. Like, you want to toggle around, let's say, data quality or data integration, or you want to toggle to something on administration, something on monitoring, right? Something on operation side. You can toggle around multiple services in this platform. Okay. You also have a centralized monitoring capabilities to track your jobs, the progress, and you have pre-configured integration templates for recurring business use cases. Okay. So far, so good. Have you understood what is iPaaS here? Any questions from anyone? Okay. So moving on to the architecture, right? So if I have to explain about architecture, you are a user, who logs in to web client, you provide your credentials, you have your identity access, you provide your credentials, and then you log on to a web client, you perform design and administration. And how do you do it? You actually work on customer managed securation. There is something called customer managed securation, which is typically running on a Windows machine or a Linux machine, where you have encrypted data of your connections, your logs, your data, which is sitting behind your organization's firewall. So it is called customer managed security. And you also have your on-premise data and applications here, right? So this is how you see there is a dotted line here, and this is a firewall of your organization, and you have your data sitting beside or sitting under your firewall. Have you understood this? Any questions? So what happens is, like, you have your design, you do your design, you perform your administration functions, and with the help of your secure agent, you're sending your metadata to Informatica hosted repositories, which is a multi-tenant repository. What is a multi-tenant? You have an ability to host metadata and your data, but the data is not getting stored in your multi-tenant repository, which is an Informatica vendor, right? You have the services which are microservices based architecture, where only the metadata gets stored. There is an AES encryption of 128-bit. You have your so we need to understand two things here. One is Informatica managed secure agent, and another one is a process server, right? You have Informatica managed secure agent, and we also have a customer managed secure agent. So this is owned by the vendor, by the product company. This is owned by the customer. Okay. So have you understood this difference here? Any questions from anyone?
So why we need two secure agents? What is the need of it?
Yeah, secure agent is needed for your connections. For your connections to have your secure agent up and running. This is kind of an integration service. Which is inbuilt integration service, which would ensure the data is being loaded from source to target. You have a source and you have a target, right? So how do you manage the data? This is how the customer managed secure agent has come up, where you download, which is a lightweight program, which would ensure that you have your connectivity established. Say I'm on my Windows laptop, okay, but my Windows laptop would be having different set of files, and I also have an Oracle instance running on my laptop. But how do I establish a connectivity? I need to have a secure agent with my service that I have enrolled for. So I'll download a secure agent, and I'll ensure the secure agent is up and running. Then I should be able to create the connections that are required for me to talk to those instances, be it a flat file or be it an Oracle instance or anything. And you have this, you also have a business data here, where you connect to different connectors like Marketo or Salesforce or any other cloud applications, right? So you see that this is how it would work, where you have a two-way communication, but your data is sitting behind your firewall, which means that your data is protected. Only the metadata gets exchanged to cloud repositories. Okay. And if I just explain further about cloud architecture, where you have administration, design, configuration, you have a repository. This is just an explanation on what I have just told you, where you have a machine with a browser, internet access, and your company. Why do we need a secure agent? Because your companies would like to store their confidential data or sensitive data behind their own company's firewall. They don't want their data getting exposed outside. So the secure agent would manage their entire data. Now, for example, you have a Salesforce, a Salesforce with the business data, and your Informatica Cloud Secure Agent is talking to your local files or databases. So the connectivity is between, there is a red brick firewall, right? What actually happens is when you create a job, when you execute a job, the metadata, the schema changes, or any kind of schedule information will get transmitted over internet through a HTTPS protocol, where you are sending that information to a repository, which is your ICS repository. Okay. Any questions on this?
Then what is the use of Informatica managed secure agent?
What is the use of Informatica managed secure agent? I just told you, right? We configure a secure agent. We download a secure agent. We download a secure agent to manage your local files or your connectivity between a database or an external application. You need a connector. You need a bridge, right? You need a bridge to ensure your data is being stored, or you're doing a data integration job, or when you're creating a job. Without a secure agent, you cannot run a job. You need a integration service. How do you take it? You created a job and you want to load the job, or you want to load the data into a target or into a warehouse. How do you do it? You need a
Okay.
communicator, right?
Yes, Arun, can you go to the previous slide? There's one slide with
Yeah,
two
sure.
slides. Okay.
This slide or the previous, this
No, no,
architecture slide?
previous slide, architecture slide. Yeah. Here on the top there is one secure agent which was mentioned, right? Informatica
Hmm.
managed what is yeah, cloud runtime secure agent. What is the use of that? So one is something that managed by the customer, customer managed secure agent. There is one the top Informatica managed cloud runtime security. What is the use of that?
See, Informatica managed secure agent is something which is hosted at Informatica, right? Which is like which need a specific license for it. Generally, this is managed by the vendor. Vendor in the sense like the product, Informatica itself. Where you get a license, you get an enterprise license, correct? So Informatica Cloud Runtime Agent is typically, this is a license driven, which is the, managed by Informatica itself. They are responsible for processing the data. So typically, that is not a case. You don't work with. That's an option that if someone would like to have Informatica manage the data, then they can go for it. But that would need a separate subscription or separate. They have to enroll for that kind of service. But that's not a case generally. Every organization would like to have their own customer managed security. That's an option, which is like hosted agent. Okay.
Got,
So
got it.
you have a hosted agent at a vendor. You have a hosted agent sitting behind your company's firewall. So typically 99.9% of the customers would prefer to have their secure agent behind their firewall. They don't want to have someone else manage their services, or they manage the data. That's not a case. Okay. So that's about architecture, where I just explained you about how the data gets getting exchanged and data getting stored. I'll just show you a quick picture about this architecture. We'll go to the UI, but before I go there, I just wanted to show you about this, the one that you are seeing here, right? This is where you have this is a data integration dashboard, where you have home page, you have connections, projects, folders, and you have different types of tasks. They're called typically assets. And your cloud application integration interface, where you have your process, guides, app connections, and all that, right? And the components, like I just told you about different components, like you have data integration, application integration, process server, app integration console, monitor. We'll see all this, runtime environment and agent. So we need to understand what is runtime environment and secure agent. What is the difference here? A runtime environment is something, it's an agent, that would run your cloud tasks. Okay. So you need to have an agent, when I say agent, right, you have a, if you are aware of a grid concept in in Linux, you have separate nodes, right? You have a collection of nodes added to a grid to ensure the failover or ensure any kind of backup is taken care, right? You need an agent. You may be having multiple Linux servers, or you may be having multiple Windows servers. So you need an agent for it, to ensure you have an agent group within your network or within your Informatica Cloud hosting facility. So there is something called hosted agent and secure agent. So what is Informatica Cloud secure agent? Which is running within your network, it is called secure agent. And if it is running in Informatica place, it is called Informatica Cloud hosted agent, which you would need a separate license for it. But that's not the case. Every company, every organization would have their own secure agent, which is their local secure agent. Okay. And this is just an further extension to my architecture diagram, right? Where you have a security model, where you have a customer, and the security model is defined on data center infrastructure security and based on some guidelines provided by the platform security. So when we talk about different role-based access controls or RBAC, right? When you have role-based access controls in Informatica Cloud, you have an admin who's a super user who would be having all the privileges to actually create tasks, create the jobs, task flows, processes. So if I'm an admin, I'll be having super access to everything, right? And a service consumer or a designer. Designer is a role who performs different types of identities. There may be multiple designers. You have a service consumer who's an operator role who does some monitoring of the jobs, API based executions, and all that. So how do we get started? We need to understand how do we get started with this Informatica Cloud data integration and application integration. So, we need to create an organization. We need to have some licenses, install, configure secure agents, groups, and ensure the data integration server, common integration components. All these are up and running. You have set up your users and groups, download and configure your connectors. So these are the steps that you have to do. Okay, but how do you do it? I'll just tell you. What you need to do is you have to just go to Google and just type Informatica Cloud, okay, application integration free trial account. Okay, just type for this Informatica Cloud application integration free trial account, and you can see you have your real-time data integration 30-day trial. Do not go for this cloud data integration alone, because you won't be getting cloud application integration. If you go with this is coming with a bundle with cloud data integration and application integration both. You understood? So when you enroll to a free trial account, we need to select the real-time data integration, and you need to provide your details, like for example, you just provide your details like IICS, dev user, you're a developer, and do not check your work, do not provide your work email, just provide your Gmail ID, and you can have your username, okay, some username, because you need to uncheck this box. The reason why I'm asking not to use an email as your username, because after 30 days you can use the same mail ID and you can have a different username, because your license expires after 30 days, right? And you can have a different username, but the mail ID can be one. So you can select your role again and your phone number. This is all, you don't have to provide your exact number. This is just a random number, and it's a free account. You just select your country and your state and your uh, postal code and everything, your location. Just check these boxes and click on start your free trial. Okay, so this is how you sign up to a free trial account, and once you sign up to this, you get a mail triggered to activate your account. See, you get a mail like this, right? You get a mail like this saying that verify me now. You have a URL and your username. Understood? So once you sign up to this free trial account, you'll be getting these services. I'll tell you from beginning how do you log in. Actually, you let me just close this. Okay, this is my URL, which is pointing to dm-us informaticacloud.com, and I need to provide my credentials, which I have enrolled to my free trial account. And when I sign up, and when I log in, I get different services as part of my free trial account. See, these are my services available as part of my cloud application integration. Okay, so you get API manager, API portal, application integration, console, app console, data integration, administrator, monitor, and operational insights. So the first thing what you do is you go to administrator service. You go to administrator service, and you actually download a secure agent, which is a mandatory environment that you need to start off. So you have to download your secure agent. So before I go there, right, I want to give you a quick uh, understanding about what is needed to learn this course. Okay, you need to install Oracle 19c on your laptop, and I gave a link here. Okay, where you can install the Oracle 19c, and you need to create a schema. You can refer to some videos. If you're not familiar with this, I can provide you a sample schema. And flat files, I'll be providing you the flat files. You need to sign up to a free trial, free account on Salesforce, and basic queries understanding is needed. And you have some added advantage for people with Power Center background. It's an easy course to learn, and you can also sign up to a free trial Snowflake account, and you have your personal AWS account for an S3 bucket scenario. So these are the prerequisites. Okay. Any questions on this from anyone? Okay. So once you log on to the administrator page, you need to go to runtime environments, and in the runtime environments, you need to click on download secure agent. So this is a new interface which is coming with a new look. For every release, they do some kind of updates. So when you click on download secure agent, you get two options. You can select either Windows platform or Linux platform, copy the install token, and you can actually keep it in your notepad plus plus. Just copy that, and you can download the secure agent. I've already done that. So when I download the secure agent and when I install that, it would prompt you to select a default path of C drive, program files and all that location, right? This is going to show you this location, but what I would recommend you is do not select the default path. You can select a path where, something like D drive or C drive. I just gave a directory name called secure agent. So I provided this D drive secure agent without spaces, and then I just gave the path, and I'm able to install that secure agent here in this location. Okay. Once you install it, and once the installation is completed, you get a prompt that your secure agent and all the services are up and running, because what it does is it downloads the necessary packages. Okay, when you just download with your administrator access and all the necessary privileges, right? You should also make sure all the services are up and running. You should have a green check mark here. And if you look at the audit log, right? If I just go back to the audit log, and if you just look at this, what it actually does is this is going to create a secure agent group, and this is going to download the necessary packages that are required for my secure agent to be up and running. See, it is downloading the packages. So this is a self-upgrading agent. It deploys the packages. You don't have to configure anything like kind of ODBC connectors and all that. Everything would be taken care by the secure agent itself. And also it will initiate the certificates that are required for the deployment. Okay, you see all the packages are getting downloaded here. They're downloading to the location that I gave. I just gave a base path of D drive secure agent. That's it. So after some time, right, it may take around 5-10 minutes to complete all that, maybe a little longer, sometimes 15-20 minutes. But after that, you'll see all these services should be up and running. Understood?
Arun, what is the difference between IICS and IDMC, and the one that we are using on the screen? Is it IDMC or IICS?
No, this is ISCS. IDMC is a recent one. No, I don't say very recent, but maybe around 1 to 2 years it has come, because IDMC is an integrated data management platform where you have the same services coming under a single umbrella, right? For example, if I just say, okay, so if I just say for something like IDMC, right? IDMC will have cloud data integration, cloud application integration, cloud data quality, cloud data governance, right? And you have operational insights, OI, have different services like EDC, Axon, data governance, something on data governance. But this is IACS. IACS is cloud application integration, data integration, and cloud application integration. So this is good to start off, because IDMC is a larger umbrella of all the services coming from Informatica on the cloud. So IDMC stands for Integrated Data Management Cloud or Informatica Data Management Cloud, I think, right? It's like it's an integrated hub which is having all the services, but we can't have a free trial account for IDMC. This is more at an enterprise level license. But for IACS, for learning IACS, you can have a free trial account. Understood? That's the difference.
Yep.
So I was just going back to this and administrator. So I have my services up and running. So for the demo purpose, right? If I have to, I was talking about toggle services, right? How do I toggle around different services? I click on this arrow, down arrow, and I see that I have different services. Let's say if I open my data integration, right, and right click on it, it opens in a new tab. Now, for the demo purpose, right, if I have to load some data into my Oracle instance, okay, I have a flat file, but for that, what I need to do is I need to have a connection created. So without a connection, you can't work on different sources, right? You can't work on sources or you can't work on targets without creating the connections. So what I did is in the connections in the administrator page, I created a connection called Oracle. I mean, I have an Oracle instance up and running, which is my Info SRC schema. Okay. So this is a dashboard, for my data integration. So when I click on new, I get these assets. Click on mappings, click on create mapping. When I click on create mapping, and be getting this default shape called source and target shape. Okay. For example, I'll just say m underscore customer data aura flat file or aura flat file load. Let's say I'll just say this is an example. Save this. Okay. Now I need to go to my source, and there is something where I need to maximize and minimize. If I click on maximize, I go to my source option, source here, and then I can select my connection, SRC connection, which is the connection which I already created. When I click on select, so this is going to talk to my Oracle instance because I created the connection already, and it is going to give me the list of tables which are available in my Info SRC schema. For example, I'm picking up customers data. Okay, I can even look at something called preview data, right, where I can look at the data to see the columns, but you won't be able to preview the entire data. You can preview some limited amount of data. When you click on preview, this is going to give you a data preview on, let's say, 10 rows or around 15-20 rows. Okay. So when I click on preview, this is going to actually again talking to my Oracle instance, and it is bringing up that information of customers. It'll just load in. Okay. So this is how you get customer ID, company, first name, and all that, data information from this preview data. Okay. So I just created a source connection. Let me save this. And let's say I have to load it to my flat file from Oracle to flat file. Okay. I can have multiple, just drag and drop. Let's say I want to have some kind of filter transformation. I drag and drop my filter transformation. I want to filter some data. Click on filter, and you have multiple conditions like simple and advanced conditions. Click on plus. Let's say I want to filter something like state is equal to some CA, right? Let's say if I just go back to my Oracle instance, and I I go to my info source schema and select start from customers. Okay, I just queried the customers. I have some data coming to state of California, right? Let's say if I just say state is equal to CA and save this. I'm doing a filter, and then I want to load it to my flat file. But to load to my flat file, I need a connection, correct? So I go to my connections again, click on new connection. I haven't created a flat file connection yet. So I'm going to create a flat file connection. So where am I creating my flat file connection? I need to create my connection in the location where I installed my secure agent. This is my D drive, apps, data integration server, data, and there is a folder called training, where this is my folder called training. I'll provide this path here. Okay? I'll just say connection underscore flat files, and this is a flat file connection. I'll select my flat file type, select my secure agent group, and the directory. I'll just copy the directory location. Do not click on browse. You can even click on browse, but I would recommend just copy that path and put it here. Select your code page, test connection. So the connection should pass because I picked up the path from my installation directory where I created a directory called training, where I have a lot of files inside that location. Okay. Successful, click on save. So once I'm able to create a connection, then I can configure my target, right? Go to my target. Okay, so just we have to make sure just refresh this because we just created. This is taking a bit, taking maybe a couple of seconds for reflection, for ensuring that is getting reflected, and then we can select the flat file connection right now. Go to your target, select your flat files connection right now, and you can click on select. When you click on select, you don't have a target existing target object, right? What you can do is we can create new at runtime. For example, I'm just creating new at runtime. I'll say target customer data demo. This is my file name, and I'll just give .csv file extension and save this. So this is going to create my target and also going to load my data. It's a validation panel here, which is valid. So I'm good to run this. So the mapping is completed, right? So you can click on validate to see if it is valid. Mapping is completed. Okay, now we can run this directly. Click on run. So this is going to show you two options: Informatica Cloud Hosted Agent or your local agent, local secure agent. So I'm going to select my local secure agent group and click on run. You see, you can go to your my jobs to see the job statistics. So this is in starting state and it will go to queued status. You can click on refresh to see how it is going. It is running right now. You click on the instance name and you'll be able to find out the where you have the job properties inside this. You can even view the same thing in your monitor also. If I just open the monitor, you can even see the same thing. You click on refresh to see if the data is getting loaded or not, how the data is being processed. It's still running. So have you understood this? This is a monitor page, where you would see the running jobs. This is completed. It processed two rows. If you just click on the instance name, okay, it processed two rows. If you want to just cross-check it again, you go to this folder and this is a file that we just loaded the data, which is target customer data underscore demo, which is having this CSV format, where the data is loaded with the filter condition of California state, right? So we just got the data loaded here. Understood? Any questions from anyone? So this is about data integration. Okay, and now the next thing, hope you understood this. You got some idea on this.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say if I have to go to app integration, which is my application integration, I want to create a job. Okay, I want to create a job to see. Uh, See, application integration is something where you send a request. Okay, you get a response back. Where you would be using REST API. You'd be having SOAP protocols, and you have different like you have a binding that is sent to a job. That is actually having a set of binding or an event driven where you create a process. For example, I click on application integration. When you click on new process, okay, and click on new process. Now this is a process that I'm going to create, but this is a different thing. It's not about a connection here. This is about retrieving your process, or you're sending a request. For example, I'll say process. Okay, just say test demo. I'll just say hello everyone, right? I'll just say process test hello everyone. I'll just click on save. Okay, now you see there is an API name here which is coming as blank, right? So when you click on publish, there is something called publish. What is it publish called? Publish is something you are exposing this outside your Informatica cloud, or you're making sure that you're actually sending a request to publish something, but you need some parameters for it. So you have a start step and end step for it. There is a start and end. Similar like your data integration, when you click on new job, right? You're getting what? You're getting source and target. But in this case, you're getting start and end step. So we're getting start and end step. Let's say if I just click on publish, right? I just created this. So automatically the API name is getting picked up here, which is called process test demo hello everyone, which means that I've created a process. I didn't complete it yet, but I just clicked on publish. Okay, if I have to do some changes again, I need to click on the three dots here, click on unpublish, which means that I'm doing some changes and I'll publish them back again. Okay, I just clicked on unpublish. Now, if you see this, there is a start step here, right? Start step, and there is something called binding, which is a REST or SOAP binding. So, which is like, which is a protocol. What is a REST or SOAP protocol means? This is REST stands for representational state transfer, and SOAP stands for what? There is a definition for SOAP. Uh, I think SOAP stands for, forgot the definition. I think SOAP is Simple Object Access Protocol. Yeah, SOAP stands for Simple Object Access Protocol, or REST stands for Representation State Transfer. And you have an allowed groups, which means that you configure some groups in administrator. If you go to your user roles or user groups, you may be having a set of group for a developer A group or developer B group, right? Or developer or an operator group, or someone like an administrator group, right? You have different groups. So if you want to click on some groups, you can select that. Allowed users are something which is any specific users. Allowed roles are deprecated, which means that they're no longer existing. Now only accepts HTTP authorization request from API gateway, and we have to provide access to send a request. We need to provide anonymous access. Let's say if I just select this allow anonymous access. Okay. So if I just click on any, I have process objects. When I click on process objects, I get different uh, types that I want to allow the access to: task action, task type, template, human task. There are different ways that I have the process objects that I define. So which means that applies to any is what I'm leaving it by default. And running on cloud server, you have options where you can run it on cloud server or local secure agent group. But the application integration, I would leave it to cloud server, because that is the best way to do it, where you send a request to a process. So I'll just leave it to the default option here. And you have input fields where you have an input format, where you are sending some kind of input message or input type. Okay, and output fields. Uh, for example, if I just select on output fields, where I want to select some field, like let's say, okay, I'll just say test output message. Okay, I'll just say test output message. It's a text type, and click on save. And we also have temp fields, messages, advanced. I know there is something which is in default. I'll explain it to you in detail when we start the training on all this. But just trying to understand, this is a simple process that we are trying to create. And there is an assignment step here. When you just drag and drop an assignment step. What is an assignment step? Assignment is like your expression transformation or a field level, which you are having a field level attribute. For example, let's select test output message with the content. Now, assign using, there are three ways here. One is content, one is field, and another one is formula. Let's say if I select content alone and click on this test output message. So this is a process that I'm trying to invoke, right? And I'll just click on publish. So how do I send this kind of request? Okay, I just clicked on publish. Now I go to my three dots here, click on properties detail. When you click on properties detail, it says there is a Swagger file. When you click on view Swagger file, so you get a Swagger file where this is a process that you are sending it to a host with a request, right? And you also have a WSDL file, a SOAP service URL with a WSDL file. For example, this is a WSDL which is in an XML format with a SOAP content. Okay, let's say I'll just copy this. Okay, I'll just copy this URL. Okay, and I go to my Postman. Postman is a third-party utility again. I'll just say a get request. When I just say I have to just copy this URL. This is my having my URL of my cloud, and this is my process. It's a get request. You don't have to send anything here. No authorization, no headers required. Just click on send. What is this doing? It is giving you a request, right? For example, this is have to print that option where it is giving you that message of process test hello everyone. For example, I'll just 1 second. I'll copy this. It's giving me that okay, maybe I've done some mistake. 1 second, hold on. Assignment, and I'll just say test output message. Okay, just a minute. Actually, I have create. I also created one. I just check this. Maybe as a slide. Maybe I missed out something. I'll just cross check that. 1 second. So this is my first process. Okay, first output message. Okay, 1 second. The start step. You go to your output fields. The first output message, right? And I'll just go to my assignment step. This is the first process, I'll say, and I'll publish it again, this one. And you go to properties detail. You copy this service URL, and let me go to Postman, and let's say I'll just copy this and click on send, get request. So I'm getting my output as this is my first process. Hello, this is my first process. The first output message is this is the first process that I'm getting. So you can even get this copy here, and let's say I'll enter this one, right? So even this is printing from my browser as well. So have you understood this? So you need to understand about REST and SOAP here. But for this demo session, I just wanted to show you this simple process. And the course content would be spanning across 6 weeks actually, where I'll be covering data integration initially with this cloud overview, runtime connections. I'll be helping you with installations, configurations, transformations. We'll be discussing about parameters and variables, expression macro, synchronization and replication tasks, task flows, hierarchy connectivity, REST API. And then we'll move on to the cloud application integration. After 4 weeks, we'll start with the CAI components and creating processes, all that. REST API, service connectors, app connections. And we'll discuss about XPath, XQuery also. Okay, so this is how it would work in Informatica Cloud. So as I told you, right, the prerequisites to learn this course is, and good if you have some knowledge on REST and SOAP also, but I'll just put it in the chat here. You can pick it up. Please leave your details to the organizer. Any questions from anyone?
Yeah, so is IDMC a different tool, or I heard it's a kind of serverless concept, but I'm not sure if it is a part of IICS or it's completely a different tool. Just wanted to have an idea about IDMC as well, Arun.
Okay. No, IDMC is, see, the difference is because IDMC comes, which is an integrated cloud having different other services. I just explained, I think you didn't join the call at that time, I guess.
Yeah,
Someone
yeah.
was asking. So
Sorry.
the difference, typically the difference is IDMC is a larger umbrella of, different services. Like it is having IACS, so it also has, EDC, it also has Axon, it also has, data governance, data quality, right? And it doesn't have that uh, free trial account, to learn something. You have a free trial account for IACS, cloud data integration and cloud application integration.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of new services that are added to the data management cloud. Okay. So that's how it is, like, extended capabilities or expanded capabilities, which are coming under one single cloud. But to learn Informatica Cloud, this is good to start with. CD and CI are very good to start, and then you should be having very good hold, when you go to the IDMC. IDMC is nothing but it's more like brother and sister kind of relationship. That's it. It's like
Okay.
parent, one umbrella. You have a lot of services coming under that, right? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Arun.
Okay, so the course would be around 4 to 6 weeks, and we'll be starting the batch soon, probably by next week. I think Tuesday we are planning to start the batch. So please enroll yourself, and we can get started with cloud data integration, and then we can move on to app integration. Okay, thank you all. Thanks for joining this demo session, and talk to you soon.